Good afternoon, Ultimate Family. Happy Wednesday. It is, I think. Whew, beautiful day here in St. Petersburg, Florida. I had a connect call with one of my dear friends. He had to push, so I figured I'd jump on and chat a little bit. It's been a wild week. Um, I'll let you in on a secret. It's not really a secret if I let you in on it. Um, I'm actually fasting this week, so I ate dinner Monday night. Monday night, yeah. Haven't eaten since then, and I won't eat until Friday dinner or Saturday morning. At least twice a year, I uh, I do a prolonged fast, usually four or 5 days, and there's some incredible health benefits and cell regeneration, um, and frankly, as a weight management tool, there's nothing better. When you get to a certain age, your body just simply can't process. I can't exercise my way to my desired weight, and I like food. Um, so it's interesting. I'm coming up on 48 hours, and that's really when your body is really kicking over into full ketosis, where all your muscle glycogen, all your liver glucose is depleted, and you're running on stored fat. Your body's converting the stored fat, and it's a wild experience if you've never done it. It's all psychological, right? There's plenty of food in this body. I'm drinking lots of liquids and electrolytes, so my body's fine, but my body keeps trying to convince me that we have a problem. So it's a fun little mental game. Um, but even the quality of thinking, the way the brain starts to work. I don't remember what the statistic is, but I think it's something like 60%, maybe even more of our uh, blood sugar, the glucose, right, which powers us, is used by the brain. So now the brain's like, wait a minute, right? That's why sugar is, excuse me, so addicting. Um, as I mentioned at the beginning of the week, this is a rare week that's largely free of coaching. I had only a couple coaching calls this week. Um, and I'm doing a lot of outreach, a lot of connect calls, um, specifically around my Creating Your Extraordinary Life group coaching experience, which I'm enrolling for the rest of the year. Um, I'm doing a lot with that, but I had, well, this week so far, it's Wednesday, I've had about 25 connect calls with people. And I thought that'd be a fun thing to talk about because that's the focus this week, right? If there are coaches in this group or consultants in this group, I know there's a bunch, or anybody that is in a role where they need to connect with others to do the creating, um, that's something that I think people really wrestle with, right? People love. I think Rich Litvin and Steve Chandler talked about it in The Prosperous Coach. Everybody loves the coaching part of coaching. They don't like the business part of coaching. Yeah, Casey, I would recommend it if you haven't done one. I usually will work up and do a few 24s and a 36 to a 46, and then I'll just dive in and do the 4 or 5 days. Once you get past the 48-hour point, your body's running on stored fat. So, like, I mean, literally the hunger's gone. I'm pretty much through that. I feel a little fuzziness, but there's no hunger at this point. I won't be hungry again. Boredom's the problem. Oh my God. The first time I did a prolonged fast, I took the week off. Dumbest idea. I was like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to feel. I was bored out of my gourd. So now it's like I fill up the week with as much stuff as possible because, yeah, there's too much time without eating and prep and that stuff. It's like there's just way too much time. So I'll talk a little bit about outreach and while I'm on it, Casey, since you mentioned that, one of my hacks is beef broth or any broth actually, but I buy this product called Lomo Life, Lomo Life, dehydrated broth. And I use a half a scoop because you want to keep it under the 25, 30 calorie threshold so you don't spur insulin, you don't kick insulin in. And yeah, so probably 3 or 4 times throughout the day, I'll have a little half serving of bone broth, and it really helps get you through the humps, right? When you're just like, oh, something's going on. But yeah, it's got that, satiation, and there's sodium and electrolytes. It's really great. Or, I used to go to a pho place, and just get a big thing of broth before I do it. So broth is really a killer hack for that. So it's generally true that when anybody who's enrolling for anything, and again, this could be a coach, it could be a consultant, it could be somebody selling software, doesn't matter. When you get into conversation with somebody, good things can happen, right? Oh, hi, Lorraine. The challenge is, how do you get in enough conversations, right? Whenever I'm working with somebody and it's relative to their business and they're saying, well, I don't have enough revenue. Well, the problem is always there's not enough what we call top of the funnel activity, right? And for those of you wondering, does this have anything to do with being and the ultimate coach? The answer is absolutely. I'll tie that all in together because I really think shifting our being is the key to effectively getting more conversations. But I'm just, I got time today, so this will be a long one. Like I said, I got all the time in the world. I'm just bored. Nothing to eat or no eating to do. So, just having my bourbon. Just kidding. It's some soda water. So, if we can get more conversations, well, we can get people to talk and start to understand what they might need. Well, how do you do that? So this is very fresh because I've been doing it all week, and I was just talking to a CEO yesterday who has a business where, it's a sizable business, multi-million-dollar business, but he does all the selling. And what I pointed to was, hey man, you just need to be in more conversations. But the way he's going about getting into those conversations is problematic, right? So I don't remember what number I said, but somewhere I'll have about 30, 35 conversations this week, right? Connect calls. There's a fair amount of work to get those scheduled. Hey, Daniel. And there is not just the work required, but there is overcoming the inertia and the discomfort and the anxiety and all the stories we tell in our head. So in terms of context, the people I'm reaching out to, I'm not cold calling anybody. I'm calling people that know me. I'm reaching out to folks I've talked to before. Many of these people I've served powerfully over the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years. These aren't strangers. Now, you would think I reach out and say, hey, you got some time to catch up. They'd be like, yeah, absolutely, man, no problem. Doesn't work that way, right? Everybody is overwhelmed. Everybody is inundated. Most people are just hanging on by a thread. Let's face it, if somebody's actually in the market for a coach, chances are life isn't going so smoothly for them, by and large. So what a lot of people don't realize is how much effort is required just to get somebody to even respond. There are people I'm on my 3rd attempt with, and again, these aren't strangers. I'm not cold calling anybody. I'm not trying to pitch them anything. And I'll send out a text. This is a cell phone. It's not even an email. Nothing. I get ignored. I send a second message. My personal is, a couple question marks, and then I'll send a third. And inevitably, people will respond. Usually my third message is, are you alive? I literally say that. Are you alive? And they'll say, oh, sorry, I've been crazy busy, blah, 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 whatever their situation is. Well, think about that, right? I can stand over here and say, well, they should manage their time better if they wanted to talk to me. But I'm here trying to serve people. I'm trying to help. So if I'm really committed to that, I'm going to need to do what's necessary to get in conversation with them and be more committed to serving them than I am to, oh, well, are they going to think I'm hassling them? Are they going to think I'm bothering them? Am I going to look bad? Or all the other things that show up. That's not a technique challenge. It's a being challenge, right? The being that wants to be liked and wants to, not intrude, well, that person's probably not going to send a message at all, much less a powerful message, much less 2 or 3 messages necessary to get their attention, right? So know that there is a fair amount of work. There are mechanics, there are systems, there are processes, there are templates, there's stuff that can make that easier. But at the end of the day, it's, are you waking up and going, oh, I don't want to bother these people, right? Oh, why haven't they called? Oh, I sent 2 messages and they haven't called me back. Yeah, they didn't notice the message. It's buried in all the trash. They saw it and said, oh, I want to get back to them. And then by the time they had a moment to do something about it, there were 50 other messages in there. But we make it about us. We make it about, oh, they don't like me. They're mad at me. They think I'm bugging them. We got a whole story about it. And that's just to get them to show up. And it's not like I've evolved past this and I have no, challenges doing outreach. But what I've learned is when outreach, trying to connect with people, is showing up as frustrating or anxiety inducing or any of that, it's my being I need to work on. Oh, this is showing up as I'm going to bug people. I'm not going to talk myself out of it. Let me look at the being. How must I be being that I'm creating that? Who would I need to be to call people powerfully? How do I put that into action? What do I want to get committed to? So then I wake up on, Monday of this week, and I've got, like I said, 35, 37 meetings on the calendar. And then there's a whole nother level of challenge for the being, right? Now I've got people on the calendar. People have agreed to meet with me. Well, what am I there to do? What am I trying to connect with them about? Now, I'll tell you that if the intention of a connect call for you is to pitch somebody on something, on a program you're doing or a seminar or even anything, well, that might work sometimes if you're selling something that is so intuitively or patently obvious about the benefit of it. But for most people, that's not the case, right? Somebody woke up this morning and they got 3 things on their mind. One of them is something their wife or husband needs them to do. Another is something their kids, in trouble for. And another one is something their boss is yelling at them at. They didn't wake up going, how do I better my life? How do I look deeper inward, right? People are just hanging on. So doing outreach to enroll people, right, is pitching them even if you don't think you're pitching them. Right? So what do? Well, my belief is you got to start with the intention and a being that says, I'm calling this person to find a way to serve them, whether or not it puts money in my pocket. That's literally what I do. I call people up and I talk to them. Hey, what's going on? What's new? Last time we chatted, cool little plane coming over. Last time we chatted, you were talking about this. How's that going? I don't try and get to, here's what I got going on. Here's my pitch, what have you. Inevitably, people will ask, what are you up to? And I start sharing with them. Now, I don't share like, oh, I got this program and you got to sign up for it. I tell them what I'm up to. I tell them, what's lighting me up. Man, the last year has been incredible. 50 men have gone through this thing I call the Creating Your Extraordinary Life experience. I've now launched that into the corporate world. Here's what's going on with some of my one-on-one clients. I just tell stories of how the work I'm doing with people is impacting them. If somebody's married and have kids, I'll tell a story about how, one of the people I'm working with is having a breakthrough or just had a breakthrough, with a son of theirs they didn't talk to for 10 years, or, they were looking to get divorced and after 20 years of marriage, things were seeming stale and now it's better. Well, all of a sudden people get interested, right? If you're tuned into who you're connecting with, well, you'll get an idea of what might this person need. Hey, what do you need? They're not going to answer. Let me tell you what you need. They're going to resist. But if I can share something going on about somebody else that I'm serving who needed something and I served them with it, all of a sudden they get interested. Well, how do I learn more about that? Oh, I'd be happy to share it with you. And for me, I don't pitch anybody when I call them, right? When I'm reaching out to connect, it's a genuine connect call. I'm just curious about what's going on, if there's a way I can serve them or help and support them. If the conversation creates an opening, either their curiosity or I say, hey, I see something for you. Well, I'm not going to keep the call going and pitch them on something. I'm going to say, listen, I'd love to give you an assignment. I'd love to get you committed to doing something, and then let's talk again. And for me, that's, I have them go read my testimonials page. And if you're interested, I'd recommend it. It'd be valuable for you. It's townsendwardlaw.com/testimonials. And what you'll see, it's very different. It's not, Townsend is great, he's awesome, he's a wonderful coach. In fact, I edit all that crap out. Hey, what's up, Riker? Good to see you, buddy. And I say, go check out the testimonials page. These days, I also will give an assignment like, I'll enroll them and commit them to reading The Ultimate Coach, like somebody that just joined the call, right? Because I want them to go take some action, and I also want them to be served by our conversation, regardless of if they're ready to do something with me or not. So I'll give them an assignment, go check out the testimonials, read the testimonials on my page. Read them like it's a menu is what I'll say in a restaurant, like you're deciding what you're having for dinner. Don't read it about Townsend, read it about these powerful men who had an experience with me. It's not that important. What's important is what they're doing with it. If you see stuff there, you go, wow, I want to create that for myself. Well, then we should talk again, right? Well, what if I don't have testimonials? Well, get testimonials. You've worked with people, you've served people, paid or not. I have a very simple format for testimonials, and I don't even like to call them testimonials. I ask people to answer 4 questions. What was life like? What was going on in your world? What were you looking for before we started working together? Question number 2, what was the experience of working together like for you? What did that feel like? What was your perception of that? Question 3, what shifted in you? What transformations did you experience? What's up, Alex? What transformations did you experience from our work together? What did you experience? And then the 4th question is, how have those transformations impacted your life? What impact have you produced, created? What's different in your life because of how you have transformed? And I get their permission to use it. And I also commit them to creating this testimonial, not for me. Yes, I want to use it, but actually for them. There's something really powerful about somebody you've served taking the time to say, well, what did I really do here? Yeah, that's going to be great for Townsend, but it's actually powerful for them. That's what most people don't get. A testimonial, the way I see it, is a gift to you who I've served, because it's going to help you really stare at the powerful work you did and what you've shifted in your life. It's not about giving me credit. I've had so many people come back and thank me. Man, thank you for having me do that testimony. That was so powerful. I can't believe how much I created and how much I've shifted. Yeah, you did, and you wouldn't know that otherwise. And then, we meet, we talk, and at the end of it, I simply take my little record of them. I use actually Trello to manage all of my relationships. It's very simple. I have these different columns. And I make a quick note about what we talked about, and I move them to, what I call my nurture stack. And in a month or 2 or 3 months, whenever I got some time or of interest, I'll go over there and pull some and bring them back over and start the outreach process again. And I'm not attached to, someone working with me ever, much less signing up for this program, right? I genuinely want to connect with people. I'm always asking myself, is this somebody who I feel I could serve? Is this somebody I want to serve? And if so, I'm committed to serving them. If they work with me or not, I'll reach out. Sometimes people will call me back. What's funny is they really don't, right? That's probably something that would be useful for everybody watching this to hear. I like to think I'm a really powerful coach that serves people powerfully. I keep score of the impact that I've had on people's lives in terms of, how much money they've created from our work together, how much impact in the world they have. I actually track these things. So I'm certain that the work I do with people has impact, even if I've never been paid by them. And yet, the phone doesn't ring, right? It's so strange, but it's not. And, most folks who are either coaches or consultants or in other ways trying to serve folks, well, that's the only thing keeping them from doing more of what they love is actually initiating that outreach, right? You want the phone to ring, you gotta ring the phone. It would be really nice if people just would wake up one morning and go, oh yeah, I've been thinking about Townsend, I should call them. They don't. No matter how powerfully I've served them. I told the story in a previous live, I won't go into the whole thing, but there were, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, it was a while ago, I had a gentleman reach out to me. He had watched some video I posted, or maybe it was an email I sent on fear. And I said, hey, what's your biggest fear? This guy sent me an email back saying, I'm scared of driving across bridges. I was like, oh, that's weird, but okay, cool. I said, well, you interested in being done with that? He said, absolutely. So we got on the phone, and I said, why do you need to drive across a bridge? He goes, well, I want to go visit my granddaughter, but I got to detour 400 miles out of the way because I don't want to drive across the Snake River Bridge. I'm like, oh, that's worth playing for. Long story short, we met for about an hour. I gave him some stuff to do, and I said, hey, let me know how it works out. Maybe 2 or 3 months later, I can't remember, he sends me a video. He's driving across the bridge just laughing. His fear of bridges was gone. So if you have a fear of bridges, call me. Or frankly, a fear of anything, call me and we could sort that out. I mean that. It'd be very simple. So he's done with the fear of bridges. See you, Casey. And I didn't think about him at all for a while. He popped into my head last summer, and he actually popped in my head because I ran across another guy who was scared of bridges. I was like, I think I did this before. Anyway, I did some digging. I found the guy's email, or his name and everything, the email he had sent me. Tried to call him. That number's disconnected. I went to LinkedIn. He has a new company, and there was a number there. I called the number. He answers. And I was like, hey, you know who this is? He goes, no. I said, this is Townsend. He goes, why is that name familiar? I was like, we talked a few years ago. You had this fear, this phobia. He's like, oh, yeah, that's right. I did. I was afraid of something. What was it? Oh, driving across bridges. And I had this massive insight, right? We sit there and we go, well, why aren't people calling me back? Or why aren't they grateful? Why aren't they referring me? I served them so powerfully. Check it out. This guy I had served so powerfully, not only did we solve the problem he had, right? The fear of bridges was gone. The phobia was gone. He forgot he ever had the phobia. Now, for about 30 seconds, I'm like pissed. I'm like, how come I'm not getting Christmas cards from you, dude? This changed your life. But after the ego subsided, what I saw was, wow, that's some powerful work. If I can serve somebody so powerfully, they don't even remember the thing that was causing them a problem. That's pretty good work. But the other side is it's going to be up to me to stay in touch, reach out, remind them of how powerful our work was together. So if they want to work together, we can. So if they want to refer me, we can do that too. But we sit there and say, well, nobody's calling me, and I've helped everybody so much, and nobody's helping, and nobody's calling me. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. You got to do that work. You got to do the outreach and confront the being that says, well, I shouldn't have to. People should call me. I don't like it. It's uncomfortable. I'm bugging them. On and 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 on. So there you go. I'll have a couple more sips. If you guys have anything you want me to talk about, for those of you just joining, I'm fasting this week. And I got a lot of time on my hands. When you're not eating or cooking food or doing the stuff that you do with the food after you're done eating it, then, man, so much time. So I had a meeting cancel. I'll get on here. And if nobody wants to chat about the thing, I'll either make something else up to talk about or I'll just go. So let me know if you got anything. It's a good day. It's nice and quiet. No air conditioners running. No boat zooming by. All right. I guess that's it for now. You guys have an amazing afternoon. If anything I've talked about kind of sparks for you, you got some questions, not sure about what I said, or need me to unpack stuff, just send me a message. I'm always happy to chat. I'm doing these lives more and more. They're a lot of fun on Facebook here, and really love helping folks discern and distinguish being and work at the level of being. It's kind of what I love doing. So have an amazing day.